Hi everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the third episode of this series of things I'm doing where I just tell my thoughts about what's going on in the subject of bullying, with an emphasis on workplace bullying. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Richard Santiago. I am the director of a documentary entitled When Bullies Become Bosses. What I want to talk about today is my return back to work. For those of you that don't know, I've been out of work on sick leave due to the fact that I injured myself on May 1st. May 5th. I was bullied about back in 2000 for probably about from 2006 to about 2010. The main bullying started was really the hardest part for me to deal with was in 2008 when I was bullied by the NALC union president, cursing at me and screaming at me because I didn't agree with his tactics on what he was doing to protect the members of the union. But back in May when I injured myself, probably about June, there was a new supervisor brought to our station, and she would scream and yell and just carry on all day and just make the workplace just such a horrible place to be, a violent, verbally abusive place to be. She wasn't violent, but it was just a sad place to be. And I wanted no part of that. December 1st, I returned back to work. And I'm glad to say that the environment is different. There's no yelling on the monitors or yelling or barking orders to any of the other workers there or to me. And I want to say, and of course my employer is going to deny it, but it was because of what I did. I basically called out this supervisor out to the fact that, your style is abusive, that she lacks the knowledge of how to supervise employees. And not only did I do that, I took it to the postmaster of Las Vegas, and I took it to her direct supervisor. I have not received an email. I called them, I called their offices, and I emailed both of them and was unsuccessful of getting a response back from them. And to me, that's just acknowledgement of their guilt, that they know what's going on, they know what she's doing, and they don't want to address it because they feel that this is the way, the post office feels that this is the way to do business. And it's not. I know many employees that work harder when they have a supervisor that understands, that didn't forget what it's like to be out there in the trenches, if I can use that, and be out there delivering mail and trying to be on time and trying to satisfy the customer, satisfy the employee, and keep the mail safe. So, like I said, I'm happy to say that my first day back, I've only got one day back, today's my day off, was pleasant. There was no barking of any orders. And, this is just an acknowledgement to the fact that they work harder at being abusive, I think. Not all postal supervisors, but most, your majority, work harder at being abusive than to be kind and try to get the employee to work harder and push in a positive way. Now, I don't want to talk about the supervisors because, you know, you're not going to change people like that. You're not going to change people who think that kind of behavior is normal and it's okay. Just like, you know, people who are vegans are not going to change people on the fact that eating meat is cruel. You know, they're just going to keep doing it. You're just going to have to show them, you know. But what I want to address this to is to the people who feel that there's nothing that they can do. You know, there are a lot of people out there who are bullied, and they feel that not being aggressive back to their the person who's bullying them is the way to go. And that's not, because you're eating your feelings up and eventually it's getting to you. Then you wake up one day and you're severely depressed, which is what happened to me. And I didn't hold any of my anger in. I told the supervisors exactly what they should know, and I called them on everything because I'm not in the wrong. You want to say that I'm in the wrong? Say it. But then I'm not in the wrong by, if you're yelling and screaming at me calling you out and saying that kind of behavior is not welcomed and it's not professional in the workplace. You know, so here I want to tell everybody that here I am. Yes, I'm a filmmaker. But in the eyes of the post office, I'm just another worker. So I'm not any different than you. So I've heard people say, well, it's because you're a filmmaker. That's why things are different for you. And it's not. It's that I'm willing to call them on it. The first thing you do is get a lawyer to back you up. Document all these situations that you're in. Document them in every way possible that you can. Don't be creative on how you document it. Let me put it that way to you. I've documented them, and get a lawyer to help you, and get in there and don't be afraid to tell your boss, you know, I'm going to, you know, stand up for myself. This isn't right the way you're treating me, and I'm going to stand up for myself. And that's exactly what I did. Now, did she push after I called her out on it? Sure. She pushed harder because she's a supervisor. She can push a little harder. But then you push a little harder as well. And you don't stand down, or don't push, but don't stand down to what they're doing. Let them know that you will stand and you will not budge, and you will stand your ground, and let them know that what they're doing is wrong, and call their supervisors out on it. Go all the way as far as you have to. I went all the way to the Postmaster General. And of course, as I stated before, did not receive any information, any call back from them, anything from them. They're totally ignoring me. And they think that by ignoring me, they're hurting my feelings, but they're not hurting my feelings. They're helping me, because they're helping me to show the public how the post office treats its employees. I was a business owner. I've owned businesses. The restaurant field was my field. If someone came to me with a problem, I addressed it. I addressed it the best I could. Did all of my employees like the way I handled it? No. But I addressed it. And that's a lot better than ignoring the person and telling them the way your feelings don't matter. But that's not the way I feel when they ignore me. I'm going to show them the way the post office treats its employees. It's important for the public to understand that when you bully your employees, you bully the customer. Let me explain how to you, in this case, that happens. When a postal employee is bullied and yelled at and screamed at, especially, you know, trying to put anyone out there, especially when it's a male figure bullying a female, that's very hard for the person to deal with. And now they're working with that thought on their mind. So if it's a carrier who has your mail, what ends up happening? They deliver mail to the wrong address because they are not fully focused. Or in a bad case scenario, they're driving around and they're not paying attention, and here comes a child who walks in front of your vehicle and you hit them. That's a reality. Some people might be, oh my God, I'm exaggerating. No, it's a reality. They're not paying attention because they're so concerned with trying to keep their jobs or not be bullied anymore. They're not paying attention to your mail, to anything around them. It's reality. You know, I will tell you, I had a customer tell me, why should I care about what happens with the postal worker? Well, that's why you should care. You know, that is why you should care. So I want to thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube account, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter, or just go to our website, thebullyexposed.com, and learn how you can get involved in helping us. We're going to be doing a campaign in a couple of days to earn the funds to finish our documentary, and we would really like your support. So thank you again for watching, and remember, all lives have meaning, including yours.